explain to our viewers the findings of your poll, which suggests that Nitish Kumar's popularity has dipped. In comparison with 2010 and 2015, this chief minister heads into the first phase of polling facing severe anti-incumbency. Ordinarily, if the government and the state's chief minister face this kind of incumbency, the government would be likely to lose. Despite that, your poll projects that the NDA may cross the finishing line, end up with 133 plus seats. Is that, in your view, largely because voters still have a lot of faith in the BJP and in the work being done by the central government of Prime Minister Modi? Does it then mean that Nitish Kumar is Modi Bharose? Sanjay Kumar.
Your question also has an explanation, Rahul. You rightly said, if this kind of a negative rating any chief minister would have got in any other state, or kind of a negative rating of the state government, the government should have lost election. And if you look at one of the findings in the survey, should this government be re-elected, a lot of people say, no, this government should not be re-elected. But the only reason why still NDA remains ahead of RJD Gathbandhan and others is because they are in alliance with BJP. BJP's popularity is increasing. Nationally, if we look at, people don't remember, people don't recollect that BJP as a national party has been able to double its vote share in less than 10 years, in almost 10 years. Similarly, in Bihar also, they have expanded their base. They have expanded their base in the rural India as well, enormously among the lower OBC vote. So the reason why, in spite of Nitish Kumar getting a bad rating as the chief minister, they still remain ahead in terms of vote percentages, which is 6% lead over RJD, and in terms of seat estimate, they still remains ahead of RJD Gathbandhan. This is primarily because of their alliance with BJP. I think they would need Prime Minister Modi heavily to campaign in favor of the Gathbandhan to take the stock on the upward side, or at least not letting the stock go down.
Rahul Verma, the one election that comes to my mind is what happened in Gujarat, where very clearly the sitting BJP government and the chief minister were deeply unpopular. It's the personal appeal of Prime Minister Modi that took the BJP in Gujarat across the line, and the fact that the Congress wasn't as strong on the ground organizationally as the BJP was. Is this a common development in politics over the last few years, a deeply unpopular government now once again relying on the Prime Minister, on the organizational machinery of the BJP to see the entire NDA bandwagon across the finishing line? What are you making of these numbers and the disaffection with the Nitish Kumar government and with the Chief Minister himself?
Thank you, Rahul. I think you're absolutely right about Prime Minister Narendra Modi being one of the most popular leaders in the country. His popularity is somewhat more than the popularity of his party, BJP. But I would like to add 2 points. One, I think while Nitish Kumar's popularity in comparison to past has certainly declined, his government record in the third term is not as great as what it was in first and second term. We must also keep this in mind that there is sort of a confusion among voters whether what is the role BJP is going to play post-poll. Is BJP, so what like the data we saw yesterday, what is happening that BJP voters do not want Nitish to return as a chief minister, rather they are seeing, rather they want emergence of a new leader, and perhaps from the BJP. As Sanjay ji also pointed out, BJP's graph has been rising. So you must keep this confusion among voters in mind. And this is what BJP is trying to sort of negate in past 1 week. Earlier, they were thinking that they were in a pole position, they can basically ramp through. Now there is a realization that this confusion may cost them the election. And that's why BJP leadership is making extra effort to say that even if we get more seats, Chief Minister would be Nitish Kumar.